Hi. So tonight I'm going to be making a one pot like Mexican rice skillet kind of meal. Yeah, it's one of those nights where I actually had defrosted the wrong meat. So I was gonna make like a chicken dish, but I accidentally defrosted ground meat, so we had to switch it up. So I went ahead and you could probably hear the kids and Mike in the background. He just got home from work and they are insane. I always say that he's like a third child because the three of them just go nuts. Anyways, so for this recipe, I have a pound of ground turkey, I believe it is. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to saute that up with some chopped onions, garlic, and a little bit of olive oil. And then I'm going to season it with some taco seasoning and garlic powder. So I got my garlic powder. And then after that, I believe you add, let me see my recipe here. You add a cup of long grain rice, some broth. I think it's 1.5 cups of broth, can of corn, about 8 ounces of tomato sauce, and a half a cup of salsa. And you just kind of like let that boil and simmer until the rice is done. And once that's done, you can top it off with some shredded cheese, close the lid on the pot, and then just wait for that cheese to melt. And then that's it. So I've already went ahead and, like I said, chopped up my garlic and my onion. So I will take you over to the stove. Okay, like I said, it is absolute chaos in my basement, but we're going to go ahead and add in some onion to this pot. So if the recipe called for one small onion diced up, I just had this left over from barbecue that we did this weekend for Colin for his birthday. So I think let's just use that up. All right. So I've got my onion and garlic, and then I'm going to add in my pound of ground turkey. Give this a quick little saute first. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to add some salt and pepper. My mother-in-law's birthday is coming up next week, so we decided that I think we're going to make like a rigatoni dish for her, and we're going to have just my brother-in-law come over, and we're just going to do dinner and like a cake or something for her, because we have such a busy month, and I don't want her to feel, you know, left out and like she's not being celebrated. So we're going to do a little dinner for her next week, and I think she'll like that. I think any time spent with the family is really appreciated. And her and my mom, they're so good. They're like so sweet about like Mother's Day. They've kind of like passed the baton down, and they're like, well, how do you want to celebrate Mother's Day? You know, now that you're a mom, we've had all of our years of Mother's Days. So they've been really good about letting me have my Mother's Day. So what I like to do is I like to go and celebrate separately with them. So like I'll take like my mom out to lunch or dinner one day, and she really enjoys walking and like window shopping and just kind of like enjoying a day out and chit-chatting. So I was hoping that maybe this year I'll do the same thing, and I will maybe include my mother-in-law, and we can all go to brunch or something like after the Mother's Day rush. Usually my brother likes to do a brunch for his mother-in-law and his wife and my mom for Mother's Day. So I figure take the pressure off planning. I don't want my mom to feel like, you know, she's rushing around. So I added the ground turkey in here, and I also just added some of that taco seasoning. I think you're supposed to add like 2 tablespoons, but I just kind of eyeball it and go off of smell. I'm also going to add some of this garlic powder here, even though I did add fresh garlic. Add a little bit of garlic powder. And I'll add a little more taco seasoning. Won't hurt. I haven't had much time to record lately because, like I said, it's getting so busy. We have a lot of birthdays this month, a lot of birthday parties. Kids have been wanting to play outside. I've just been cooking some meals really quickly. Gianna's been wanting to help, but she's like, oh, can we just like cook and not record? And I'm like, you know what, that's fine. Me recording is just kind of like a little outlet for myself. So if she wants to just chit chat while we cook, that's my priority. All right, so we're just gonna let that cook up a little bit and brown up before I go ahead and add the rice in. So this is looking pretty good. I am going to go ahead and measure out 1 cup of rice. Usually, like, I like to eyeball, but when it comes to rice and stuff like that, I feel like I need to be pretty exact, so I don't want to mess it up. Okay, so 1 cup of rice, pop that in there. I like to toast my rice up a little bit before I cook it. I don't know why. So we're just gonna mix this guy in here, and I did add a little bit more salt and pepper, well actually pepper and garlic powder in here because it just smelled like it needed that. So we got that. I also got a little bit of a tear stain on me. Gianna slammed her hand into something, so she was a little upset. So I gave her a little hug. Got some tears on me, and that's okay. All right. So I'm going to do 1 cup of rice, and I have 1.5 cups of water. You're supposed to do broth, but I'm just going to mix it with my, you know, stock concentrate or whatever. So let's put 1.5 cups of water in here. And I'm going to add my concentrate. Honestly, I feel like sometimes when you buy stock from the store, I don't know, I just feel like it's so expensive, so I get the concentrated stuff. I don't use a lot of stock, and I hate when I have it and I don't like use it all, and then it kind of just sits in the fridge and then it kind of goes to waste. So I don't like that. I know, although I could probably freeze it, just kind of like defrost it when I need it. That's actually not a bad idea. Okay, so I've got that in there, and the recipe also calls for 8 ounces of tomato sauce. So this is a 15-ounce can, so I'm just gonna do like half of this can. It's about half. And it calls for 1/2 cup of salsa. I'm not really going to measure this. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball 1/2 cup. Like, that was probably a cup. That's all right. So we're going to mix this up. Oh, and I gotta put my corn in there. I got 1 can of corn. It's drained. Okay, go. We've got some airplanes flying over our house, and they seem really noisy lately. I don't know. I think we have like, I don't think we have an airport that's like super close, but there's been a lot of planes. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up to a boil and then let it simmer. This actually looks like it might need a little bit more water in it. So I might just go ahead and add maybe like 1/2 cup of water. All right. Because like I had said before, I have a tendency to forget about what's on the stove, and the rice tends to overcook. So it could use a little extra water. So I'm gonna bring this up to a boil and let it simmer for about 18 to 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna recheck it. So it's been about 20 minutes. This smells really good, and let's see if the rice is cooked. Ooh, that looks really good. Okay. I'm happy that I added a little bit more water because it looks like it really needed it. I kind of like when there's like crispy pieces at the bottom too. I like the rice to be a little bit crispy at the bottom. Let's see here. Scraping it all off the bottom. It smells really good. Okay, I'm going to get a spoon and test to see if this rice is done.
Because I need one more. Okay,
With these little baby spoons here. Let's see. Perfect. All right. Oh, got a little bit of a kick, which is really good. So, I'm gonna go ahead, sprinkle some cheese on this, and then I will cover the top again, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. All right, this is what we're looking at. Looks really good. Can't wait to dig in.